Good morning. How are y'all?
Yeah.
Y'all are on mute right now, so if you would correct that, we'll get started. If you can hear me, I'll go through my preliminaries. It's 8:40 in the morning. Today's date is the 8th day of January, 2026. We are in the headquarters of the Department of Corrections in Baton Rouge. My name is Steve Frater, and my board members this morning are Jerry Ledoux on my right and Chuck Tillis on my left. Chuck Tillis will be handling the questioning today about the revocation hearing that we'll be hearing. Staff, would you introduce yourselves, please?
Jessica Thompson.
Tim Cavalier.
Carla Williams.
And Francis Abbott.
Okay, and we are talking to Mr. RENWICK JACKSON, and y'all are at Ouachita Parish Correctional Center. Is there any staff in the room with Ouachita Parish?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Deputy Marchand.
Okay, thank you. And who else is in the room there? Would you introduce yourselves, please?
My name is James Ross. I was the attorney who was appointed to represent Mr. Renwick Jackson on the charges. And of course, we have the investigator for the Injured Defender Board. Tammy, introduce yourself.
And my name is Tammy Jordan.
Okay, well, thank y'all for being there. We appreciate it. And we'll go ahead and get started with this hearing then. Excuse me, sir.
Before you start the hearing, I'm not quite familiar with all the rules of the parole board. However, I was appointed to represent Mr. Jackson before the court, the 4th District up here. And then this matter as well came up. Now, we had a hearing which was scheduled for yesterday here at the 4th Judicial Court before Judge Manning, the district court judge, to determine probable cause. But the DA who was supposed to be present was out because of the flu. And I am sure that there was no probable cause to bring the charges against Mr. Renwick in the beginning, which would have been brought out on yesterday, but for her sickness. I brought a motion since I just found out about the hearing that because of her illness, and I was tied up with Judge Manning all day yesterday. I had drafted a handwritten motion for a continuance of this matter until Ms. Jones, the prosecutor, had returned for the probable cause hearing. And our witnesses, the judge had ordered that our witness not be brought in until after the probable cause hearing, which has been moved to next month. So I would like for this body to consider continuing this matter until after the probable cause hearing. And I want to file this motion. I was advised just to bring the motion to the hearing. And that's what I'm seeking today until Judge Manning ruled on the probable cause hearing.
Okay, we appreciate that. We understand that. And you do understand, I would hope, not to discuss a lot of legal things because I'm not nearly as knowledgeable as yourself, but we don't deal with probable cause on our committee as well. We do a preponderance of the evidence is what we have to have. And so therefore it's up to the board and my members. It's not just up to me about whether we continue it. But we don't necessarily need a guilty conviction to revoke. And the only time that really a guilty conviction has anything to do with the revocation is we automatically revoke on conviction of a felony. And so that's other than that, I'm not prepared to discuss the legal matters with you because I know you whoop me pretty quick. And so all I know is what we deal with on this board. And so I guess I would like to ask the board, is it your desire to continue this or to?
We have other matters before us not related to the actual crime of failure to register that we need to deal with. So there are other issues of parole conditions.
Okay, so we will go forward, is that, okay? It's the desire of the board that we continue with this hearing, and you're welcome to step in and you'll be able to make a statement or whatever for the record. But we're gonna go ahead and continue with this hearing, and see what the outcome is. Okay, we're talking to Mr. Jackson. Would you tell us what your DOC number is, please, sir?
DOC number is 122349.
Okay, and do you have a revocation waiver in front of you that you signed?
Yes,
Piece of that you signed?
yes,
Okay, and you signed that, and you do have an appointed counsel. The appointed counsel is present for purposes of the record. Having said that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Tillis to talk about the violations, the suspected violations of the conditions of your parole.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson. I'm going to ask, you have three violations that you, three rules that you violated. You can answer guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement. Not guilty with a statement. Rule number 4, on 8/20/2024, you were arrested for committing the offense of failure to register as a sex offender. You had an unregistered social media account actively in use on your cell phone. The next court date for this pending charges is on 1/7, which you explained, your attorney explained. How do you plead on this? Guilty, not guilty, or with a statement? Not guilty with the statement?
yes,
Okay. On 8/20/24, you were untruthful when asked about your social media account on your cell phone. How do you plead on that? Guilty, not guilty with the statement, or
I'm guilty with a statement, sir.
okay? 10, you are in the rear of $1,312 supervision fees. How do you plead on that? Guilty or not guilty?
Actually, not guilty.
Not guilty.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, rule number 4, what happened? Tell us about that.
On rule number 4,
You didn't register as a sex offender.
well, I didn't,
Can we speak on that?
Sure.
All right. I asked Ms. Tammy to explain that so that you have a clear understanding of what's going on.
Okay, I didn't honestly did not think we were gonna have to do this today. So I don't have my West Law book with me. But although on the arrest record, that's what the probation officer put, but if you'll look, there's some letters after. I don't know the RS code for failure to register as a sex offender off the top of my head, but after the number, the RS code number, there's gonna be some letters and a number. So if you go down to that paragraph in the law book, he's never failed to register as a sex offender, but there's some paragraphs, some sub-paragraphs under that law heading. And it had to do, that paragraph that he was charged with has to do with having a social media account, which is not against the law anymore. You can have a Facebook and Instagram and all that, but when you have the Facebook, let's just use Facebook because that's why we're here. You have to have a banner on your homepage. And are you all familiar with Facebook and what it looks like? Okay, so on your homepage where it has your picture, your name, your real name, not a nickname or anything, has to be on that home screen on a banner, and you have to have your number. And I'm assuming that means the DOC number. I'm not sure about that, but you have to have your real legal name and your number on that banner, and you have to say, I'm a registered sex offender.
Is that on the account?
Sir,
Is that on his account?
he doesn't have an account. He doesn't have an account. He's never had an account. This gentleman sitting in front of you has never even had an email. Now, I don't know how much I need to say today. I feel kind of uncomfortable because we haven't told the judge this information. And we weren't having a trial yesterday. We were supposed to be having a preliminary examination of the evidence that, to see if there was enough reason for it to be probable cause to even arrest Mr. Jackson.
I think we need.
Of course, that we didn't get to do that because,
Okay. Now, before we go into executive session, it's D1 regarding
ma'am.
social
That's
media.
that's
Thank you.
correct. I don't
I
trust
understand.
myself. I don't trust my numbers, so I didn't want to say, but yes.
Thank you for your input. And the time is 8:50 right now. We have a motion by Mr. Tillis to go into executive session and a second by Ms. Ledoux. We're going to briefly go into an an executive session to discuss a procedural matter. And then we'll be right back, probably within just 2 or 3 minutes. We'll be back in touch with you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank
You need an RSP.
you.
Okay, the time is 8:52 in the morning. We have been in executive session, and so we need a vote to go back into regular session. Do I have a motion?
Motion that we go back into.
Motion by Mr. Tillis and second by Ms. Ledoux that we return to regular session, and there is no objection to that from me. So we're back in regular session as of 8:53 now. Okay, Mr. Tillis, would you continue?
Okay, we have facts that he does have an account. And so on the rules that we have, rule number 7, how do you plead on that? You are untruthful when asked on your social account. How do you plead? You said with a statement. Go ahead, attorney, if you want to say something.
And that's what the Miss Tammy was trying to explain to you, that this account is not his account, which appeared on his phone. I wanted her to get into the details. She is a retired Monroe police officer that's assigned to work with the Indigent Defender Board. We've gone through all the facts of the case, and we want to explain why there's no account. Mr. Renwick has no account, but how an account appear that you're referring to, you think that he has an account, but he does not have an account whatsoever. So if you just indulge us for a few minutes, let her explain that, you'll understand why.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, do you have a copy, or are y'all familiar with the probation officer's report, his arrest report, where he talks about, you're gonna see the words GUIDRY was the name of the account. Are you familiar with all of that?
We've read it extensively, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great, all right. Okay, so y'all know what I'm talking about. So they were in a meeting, one of their visits. He gets his phone, he opens it up, and he can see a Facebook app. So he opened it up, he opened up the Facebook app, and he said, you know, he saw a black man in a shirt. I mean, it's a huge picture, you can't miss it. And it says, instead of using a real name, the name of the account was Guwap Guwap. Okay, well, I want to show you. When I saw that report, I got on Facebook, and this is Guwap Guwap, and this is a man by the name of Dex Patton or Payton. He lives in Bastrop, Louisiana, and you know Bastrop and Constant, it's like a little community close to one another. People who live in Bastrop have friends in Constant, and vice versa. And a neighbor, if I can call him a neighbor of Mr. Jackson's, lived on his street in an abandoned house. The man was homeless, no running water, no electricity. And he would come down the street to Mr. Jackson's place, and Mr. Jackson would give him food, let him, sometimes let him have water, whatever he needed, because the man had nothing. And so he would use the phone. You cannot have a Facebook account without an email. I mean, that's just, everybody knows that. This man has never had an email account, and I verified that, and I have written statements. And if we had known, well, this room's not big enough to hold all the people who know him. He's been incarcerated 2/3 of his life. He missed out on all the technology training that we all started with bag phones. I had a bag phone as a police officer. And as technology grew and our phones changed, well, we adapted with that technology. He missed out on all that. You cannot have social media without an email. That's one of the requirements when you're signing up. You have to have that. I verified he does not know how to do all that with his brother. I have a written statement from his brother. I have the written statement and obviously interviewed them for extensively. The young man who lived down the street in the abandoned house. All these people were subpoenaed for court and willing and happy to come to court. And I now have an address to serve subpoena on Mr. Payton, and he will be there. And I don't know, can y'all see well enough that?
Yes, ma'am, we can see pretty clearly, believe it or not.
Okay, see, for me, it's not that great to be able to see y'all, and I read lips, and I'm not able to do that, so I'm kind of struggling. But right here on the screen, you can see where it says Guwap Guwap. Look at the probation officer's report. He was so angry when he saw this, and Mr. Jackson kept telling him, please look at his statement to the probation officer. He said it over and over again throughout that 2-page report, over and over. That is not mine. I don't know how that's on my phone. I don't have a Facebook, is how he refers to it. So I have those two men. There's a friend of his in Lake Charles, her and her husband. She said, Miss Jordan, the only way I've ever communicated with Mr. Jackson is by talking on the telephone. He doesn't have social media. He does not have an email. She said, we talk. She said, he will text if he just absolutely has to, but he does not know how to do all that. He's just never had that.
Miss Tammy, I just pulled up Facebook, okay?
Ma'am.
RENWICK Jackson. This picture is exactly like the offender sitting before me.
Yeah, I see that.
I want you to know that we have spent hours on Facebook. We spent hours when we were putting this together, and there was no RENWICK Jackson account. Now, do you realize that someone can't, ma'am, please, they can make a Facebook in my name. They can make a Facebook in your name.
Yes,
I'm an idiot. I thought I was becoming friends with Keanu Reeves, and it was a fake Facebook account.
Okay.
You don't have an IP address, and they did not do a forensic download of that phone. You cannot prove that that is,
Okay.
Mr. Jackson did that. He can't do that without an email. You can't do that.
Do you have any,
I don't have any more questions.
okay, did we finish all the violations?
Yes, rule number 10. You said that you're in the rear of $1,312 and you said not guilty.
It's because you've been incarcerated.
Yes, sir.
He was paid in full up until the time of, that he was reincarcerated. He was up to date
And employed.
and employed at the time.
Okay,
Yes.
all right,
Garrett, yes.
all right.
Okay, do you have any questions? And I have no questions.
You're ready, I'm ready to vote.
Yes,
I'm gonna vote do not revoke. That's my vote for today.
okay,
My vote is to revoke based on non-compliance with conditions of parole number 7.
And number 7 would be,
The social media, being untruthful about the social media.
all right. Did you understand though, how that you cannot have a,
excuse me, sir, we're voting and I'm sorry, but it's time for the argument is really over.
right?
I hate
just want to
to
make,
cut you off, but this is a little different. And my vote is to continue. Because I'm not satisfied. And so I'm going put this in quite a dilemma that I've never been experienced. And because we have 3 separate votes. And so
Okay, I'm gonna change my vote to continue. I think until this is ironed out, you feel like you got proof we don't want to send an innocent person. And so my vote's gonna be to continue this as you asked.
okay,
Thank you.
back to square one, like the Mr. Attorney asked to begin with. We have voted 2-3, which all it takes on revocation is 2-3. And so therefore, this case has been continued as of 9:02 this morning. And you'll be hearing more from us as we continue to study this particular situation. 9:02, end of hearing.
May I say something else, please, on the record? Nope, cut us off.
Okay, good morning. The time is 9:22. The today's date is 1/8 of 2026. We're at headquarters in Baton Rouge. We've already introduced ourselves. This is our second hearing that we've had for today. To my right is Jerry Ledoux. To my left is Chuck Tillis, and my name is Steve Prater. We're going to be hearing a parole case today from Rayburn Correctional Center of Mr. Broderick Garrett. Is there staff from Rayburn in the room? Would you introduce yourselves, please?
Yes, sir. My name's Kevin Looper. I'm Assistant Warden over Security.
Okay,
This is her record supervisor.
Lexi Kennedy, classification.
okay. Thank y'all very much for hosting us today. We appreciate that. Mr. Broderick Garrett, your, what is your DLC number, please, sir?
356-200.
Okay, and you've been incarcerated for how many years now?
16 and
Oh.
about a half.
Okay, and what was your term? What was your sentence?
20, sir.
Okay, all right. Well, your case has been assigned to Mr. Chuck Tillis to talk to you about, to see if you really are qualified or worthy, I guess you might say, of being released early, because that's what you're asking for, is to be released early. So what he's going to ask you about is what you did to get there, and what you've done since you've been there, and why you think you deserve to be out. And then we'll call on the warden to ask, add any kind of comments. Mr. Tillis?
Yeah, Mr. Garrett, how are you?
Well, I'm all right, sir.
Tell me truthfully what happened.
I was keeping my niece when my sister got real sick, sir, and I have kept her more than one time, sir, and just to be honest with you, I always played with her, sir, far as that goes, dealing with the incident that I'm in here for. I have tried to went through classes for treatment and everything, and have tried to do what was required of me for rehabilitation, dealing with my sex offense charge, sir.
Do you feel that you've been, have you learned anything from it, these classes that you've taken?
Yes, sir.
Which one impacted you most? Tell me the one that impacted you the most.
One of the things was dealing with the particular treatment that I had to take, with dealing with being justified, which was one of the sex class I had to. When you're trying to justify your actions or the things that you have done, or when you're blaming other people or blaming other things on someone else, that, or another thing would be personalized, when you take someone and you make them as an object, sir. Also, I have took AA, NA, and I'm also in the ongoing AA and NA currently right now, sir. And so I learned also from that I am powerless over any of my addictions. I had to learn how to take any of my things and my cares over to the power of God, sir.
You know, that's well said. It seems like you've learned something. Warden, what can you tell us about him?
Mr. Garrett has been one of our better inmates, as evident by his disciplinary history. He also does work within the limitations of his duty status, and he has taken very many classes to rehabilitate himself. He has taken advantage of the opportunities while incarcerated to better himself. As far as his release, the facility will respect the decision of the parole board.
Thank you, and we appreciate what you do. We really do, you and your staff.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Garrett, where will you live if you were released?
Well, I will be living with my mother, sir, and my wife that's been with me since I've been incarcerated, sir, and Washington Parish, sir.
How far do they live from the victim?
Well, the victim doesn't live back there anymore, sir.
Okay. What kind of skills have you developed? Work skills, do you plan to work, I'm sure?
I have, before I come to prison, I was doing grass cutting. I have one of my co-pastor that's gonna give me a job to
that he have his own business to cut grass or clean buildings. And so he's gonna give me a job and I'll be able to get back and forth to work and everything. So he's gonna help me out for his debt goal, sir.
Okay. How long were you married?
I've been married since I've been incarcerated, before I got incarcerated. I was married about 3 or 4 months before I got incarcerated. I was with her about 3 years before I got married, sir.
I have no more questions.
Mr. Dude?
How old was your victim in this case?
I didn't understand you.
Sorry,
How
old was the victim in this case?
Oh, I think she was 14, ma'am.
Okay. And it sounds like y'all all lived in one area, is that right? Your sister had some problems. She had to go to a mental hospital. You were taking care. Your mother's there. Did I read the report correctly where y'all all lived on one piece of property? Is that correct?
It's one piece of property, but it's like 6 acres of land.
So how do you know that the victim doesn't live there anymore?
Because I have asked my wife, does she live there no more, ma'am? But she told me
Does
that
she visit? Does she visit?
I don't know, ma'am.
Okay. Because I'm concerned about your residence plan. I think that what I've reviewed, you have served a good portion of your sentence. Obviously, the classes that you've taken, there are quite a few. And you've done things, I mean, you've done living in balance, victim awareness, substance abuse, sex offender treatment, got your GED, pre-release. That's quite a bit of programming that you've done.
Ma'am.
We have somebody that want to hear from him.
Okay, Mr.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have someone to speak on your behalf, your pastor. Mr. Bickham. He's on Zoom.
Yes, sir. I'm on here.
Okay, would you like to go ahead and say what you want to say, please? Can you hear us?
Okay, we can't hear you. If you can't find a spot, we need to move on.
Yes, sir. I've been Broderick pastor for yes. Can you hear me?
You have a bad connection, so you must be in a bad area.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Hello? Hello, we're gonna have some.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
I've unmuted. Let me go back to live.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I've been Broderick Garrett.
Okay, you must be in a bad place with Richard and what you had to say, but we can't hold up the hearing. Okay, fine.
Okay, go ahead.
You can hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been Broderick, and his wife, pastor. I've been associated with his family, or even the victim's mother. I was her pastor also. I come to visit Broderick on numerous occasions just to see where he's at in his life. And for as a family, it seems that forgiveness has set in, and for as the victim, she's living in another community, about 30, 40 miles from Folsom area. There's been, for as his mother, she has gotten old and ill, but there's reconciliation in her mother. She's, feels that things will go fine with them. Again, his wife, she's still faithful with the church and comes every Sunday, and she's just hoping and praying that her husband can come on home and be with her and continue to serve.
Okay, we really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
I'm ready to vote. If anyone else has, someone else have some more questions.
Ms. Ledoux, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, I have no questions.
My vote today is going to be to grant with conditions, and that is that you have no contact with the victim.
Thank you,
Did you-
sir.
Okay,
Oh,
Okay, Mr. Garrett, my vote today is going to be to, grant parole. You're to have no contact with the victim or any child under the age of 15.
Thank you, ma'am.
No contact.
Yes, ma'am.
do you have any grandkids?
They stay, I haven't seen, they stay in, Seattle, Washington. I haven't seen them. I've been locked up. I probably won't, I have no kind of contact with my, son at this time, sir.
My vote is to my vote is to revoke, or excuse me, deny. My vote is to deny. But I'm really torn. I'm really torn by this. I forgot this was a parole, and so it has to be unanimous.
yeah, it has to be, you know.
Well, you did a great job on your interview. You said all the things that, and you seem like an intelligent person, and you should know better than this, but you have served a long time and you've done everything that's been asked of you. And the facility thinks a lot of you there, having watched you for 16 years of your growth. And with the condition that you not be around any kids, which you won't be able to be anyway, I'm gonna concur with my constituents on the board and grant your parole in this particular case.
Y'all gonna give me parole?
Yes, sir. As of 9:36 in the morning.
Oh, gracious, Jesus.
Good morning. Can you hear us? Hello?
Yes, we hear you. Give me 1 second.
Good morning. Can y'all see us?
Yes, we
Okay.
can see. 1 second, please.
You got it?
No, push anything.
Don't touch nothing. I can hear and see it all too, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good morning. The time is 9:46. Today's date is January the 8th of 2026. My name is Steve Prater. To my right is Jerry Ledoux. To my left is Chuck Tillis. And we're here to hear the revocation hearing for Mr. Gerald White. We're speaking to you from Baton Rouge, and we're speaking to Mr. White at Catahoula Correctional Center. Is there anybody in the staff from Catahoula in the room?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. And so your name is Mr. Gerald White, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, your case is being handled by Ms. Jerry Ledoux, who is on my right, and she'll be asking you some questions, okay?
Yes, sir.
Did you do his DOC number?
No, ma'am. He doesn't need it.
Okay, so Mr. White, what is your DOC number?
317568.
Okay, Mr. White, do you have a questionnaire in front of you that is indicates your signature that you're not eligible for appointed counsel?
No, sir. All I had is parole revocation. Yes, ma'am. This questionnaire.
Yeah.
Yes, pull it up a little bit. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so you are not eligible for appointed counsel. I'm going to be reading out the allegations against you, and I need you to enter a plea of guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Rule violation number 4, you failed to refrain from criminal activity as evidenced by your arrest on 10/14/25 by probation and parole for CDS 2 and on 10/21 for unlawful use of social network website. How do you plead?
I plead guilty with a statement.
Okay. Number 8, you failed to complete the inpatient substance abuse treatment at Freedom Recovery as ordered by the parole officer. You left treatment without permission on October 11th, 2025. How do you plead?
I plead guilty with a statement.
Number 10, you were $378 in arrears of your supervision fee.
I feel guilty.
And number 13, as a special condition of the sex offender contract, it's unlawful for you to use or access any social network website. You failed to abide with that contract. You signed that contract in March 2025. You had active Facebook and TikTok accounts located on your cell phone during a search, 10/14. How do you plead?
I plead guilty with a statement also, ma'am.
Okay, so those charges have been accepted by the court. And tell me what your statement is then.
On which one, ma'am?
Well, let's go ahead and go. You tell me. You've got 4 of them. Go ahead and just tell me your story, your side.
Okay, yes, ma'am. First, on the schedule 2, on the schedule 2, it wasn't mine. That was my wife, that was belongs to my wife. And when they asked me on the day of the, when she came to my house on the 14th of October to do a house check, and Miss Heather Bradley found the meth in my wife's nightstand. My
Did
wife
you know it was there?
Yes, ma'am. She was there. My wife is disabled in a wheelchair.
Okay, but you knew the drugs were there?
Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, I didn't know the
Number
drugs.
8. What about number 8? You left the treatment facility?
Yes, ma'am. As I explained to Miss Carly the day on the 14th, that she sent me to a rehab, but they had more drugs in the rehab than they did on the street. So I left the rehab and I called another rehab that morning, will pick me up at 9 o'clock, which I had explained to her about Charles Bonke. And she would have returned my phone. I could have had the information, but you could call her. The lady named Miss Cindy. They was sending a ride to pick me up at 9 o'clock that morning. She showed up. It was at 8 something that morning.
Wait. So why did you leave?
Because they had drugs there. People were leaving. They would leave and MIA, and then they'd come back and they had drugs in the facility at the rehab at Freedom Recovery.
You could have dealt
And
with
so
that.
I left on the
Dealt with that with your officer though before you left.
ma'am.
You could have dealt with that with your officer before you left.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And my understanding is, well, to my good to Miss Landry, I don't believe she would have let me left that rehab. It's like I don't know if she got something against me personally or not, but she never even give me a chance. And like she showed up when she sent me to the DRC, she showed up on Friday, and she said, "If it wasn't from that, you'll be in handcuffs." And I say that she was prone to my wife in the wheelchair. And like I explained to her, I did go to the DRC last week. Said I've been there since August, the 1st of October. And I said I went there last week. And I said, Miss Green wasn't even there. So I explained to Miss Green when I went that Monday. I supposed went that Wednesday, but I went there Friday, Monday. And I said, my brother showed up at my house Friday. Say, you called her, say I hadn't showed up since the 1st of October.
I think the comment was made that you decided you didn't need DRC, that you could find a job on your own. Okay, so what about number 13? Did you have a phone with TikTok and Facebook on it?
Yes, ma'am. I explained when she came and signed me out on March 27th, 25, and she explained to me about the Facebook page, but she also said she had a problem on Facebook. Long I didn't have any minors on Facebook, corresponding with a minor on Facebook on the 27th of March of 25. And that's the only reason why I was
Facebook on your phone. You had Facebook on your phone?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
That's what I need to know. Well, Miss Carey is here, Miss Landry, who is the PMP agent. And at this time, Miss Landry, would you like to speak about this case?
Yes, I would.
Okay, proceed.
Mr. White was released on good time parole on March 27th, 2025. It was shortly after then when he reported to my office and conducted his intake, at which time I went over the sex offender contract with him. And it was explained to him, and that contract does outline that it is unlawful for him to use and access any social networking websites. So not only was it a violation of his supervision and that contract, but it was actually against the law. I began supervising him, and during the course of his supervision, he had some positive drug screens for cocaine usage. I then referred him to the Day Reporting Center program as the first step to get him to recovery. There were some issues with him in the Day Reporting Center program. I kind of went back and forth between both of them, and it was decided after another positive drug screen for cocaine and methamphetamines that maybe he needed additional services. The day reporting center and I referred him to Red River Treatment Center so he could actually get inpatient substance abuse treatment. He failed to follow up and get that treatment. He gave me some excuse about his wife's condition, and he could not leave his wife without being in care. However, always during the time of incarcerations, she received care some kind of way. So we advised him he still needed to get the substance abuse treatment. After he failed to still get that treatment, he later reported to my office and saw my supervisor. She drug screened him, and he again had tested positive for cocaine. She then sent him to do a jail sanction at the Rapides Parish Detention Center. And following that jail sanction, he was to immediately go to Freedom Recovery and get inpatient treatment there. We arranged the treatment. We had Freedom Recovery drive to Alexandria. They picked him up from the detention center, and they brought him to do inpatient treatment there. That was on September 24th, 2025. And on October 11th, 2025, I received notification from Miss Stormy at Freedom Recovery, and she stated that he did leave AMA on the 11th. So I then made contact the next business day with Mr. White at his home. Honestly, my intention that day was to bring him to jail for violations because he just cannot seem to get the treatment that I inform him he has to get. So during the contact at his house, we conducted a search of the residence. We were unable to find anything at the time. I did obtain his cell phone. He advised me it was his cell phone. He gave me the passcode to the phone, and a search of that phone revealed the Facebook and TikTok accounts. At the time at the house, it depends on their conviction, if it's against the law or if it's just against their contract. So at the time at his house, I wasn't 100% sure if I could charge him with unlawful use of social networking website or just parole violations. So I placed him under arrest for the parole violations. And while we were escorting him out of the house, he asked his wife to retrieve money out of his bedside table. And my partner at the time, Miss Specialist Bradley, she stated that she did not see any money in a bedside table. And so she asked what bedside table he was speaking of, and he described it. She then went inside and she found the cash that he was talking about. And next to the cash was suspected methamphetamines. And so he was then arrested for the possession of CDS2. Once I processed the paperwork, got back to my office, I did additional research and did discover it was actually against the law for him to access social networking website. So I later went back and I charged him with an additional felony of unlawful use of a social networking website. Mr. White just has a problem, I think, following the instructions that I give him. I don't think that he truly wants to get clean. I can refer him to as many places and order him to get as much treatment as he wants, but he continues to fail to comply with the things that I order him to do. So then I would request that his parole be revoked.
Thank you, Ms. Landry, for being with us today and providing the insight that you have. Mr. White, it is against the law. The court case McMahon versus Campbell established that, upheld it by the Supreme Court. So you are not allowed to have social media on your phone. You're a fourth felony offender, so you know how this works, right?
What's that, ma'am?
Like non-compliance, you have to be compliant to stay out.
Oh, yes, sir. I was being compliant, and Miss Landry said she found the cash and the methamphetamine together. That's not true. The cash was on my side of the bed. We have a king size bed and drawers.
But I think we have enough evidence to suggest that you have been non-compliant with your conditions of parole. I'm ready to vote if the panel doesn't have any other questions.
Any questions, sir?
I have no
No
questions.
questions from me. Yes, ma'am.
My vote is to revoke your parole based on non-compliance, and I find you guilty of 4, 8, 10, and 13.
I concur with Ms. Ledoux.
And I concur also. As of 9:59 this morning, your parole has been revoked. End of the Okay, good morning. It's 10:07 in the morning. We're in Baton Rouge at the Department of Corrections headquarters. My name is Steve Prater. To my right is Jerry Ledoux. To my left is Chuck Pillis, and the three of us are going to be holding full revocation hearings at CALCASIEU Correctional Center. Is there anybody with CALCASIEU Correctional that is in the room with us? Any staff members?
Yes, sir.
Hey, would you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Deputy Paul.
Okay, thank you for hosting us, Deputy. We appreciate that very much. I think the first person that we're going to be hearing from today is going to be Jack Jacob or Jacob Jack. And Mr. Jack is going to be, in this case, it'll be handled by Mr. Tillis, who is on my left. Mr. Jack, what is your full name and DOC number?
Jacob Learners Jack. My DLC number is 600969.
Okay, do you have a waiver form in front of you that you signed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you signed that, and we're fixing to have the hearing. You agree to all that, and that's that waiver you did sign.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Tillis?
Good morning, Mr. Jack. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
There are two violations that we're going to go over that was violated, and it's rule number 4. It is alleged that you failed not to engage in any criminal activity. This being evident of your arrest by the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office on 3/20/25 for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession of synthetic marijuana on 9/29/25. These charges were dismissed by the Calcasieu District Attorney's Office. You can enter a plea of guilty, not guilty with a statement. How do you?
Not guilty.
With a statement?
I was just an innocent bystander. I was in the front seat. I caught a ride, me and my cousin.
Okay, I just want you to enter a plea and then we'll come back and let you tell us what happened, if that's okay.
Okay, that's cool.
Thank you. And number 5, it is alleged that you failed to control or possess a firearm as evident of your arrest by the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office on 3/20/25 for the charges of possession of a weapon by a convicted felon. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Okay. Now go ahead and elaborate on what you were saying on number 4, rule number 4.
Which one was that?
Saying about you and your cousin about the gun.
Oh yeah, I had caught a ride with him, and they was dropping a woman off to his friend, and I caught a ride. It was a simple ride. I got in the car with him, and we got pulled over for a traffic violation, and he asked to search the car. So the driver, my cousin, he was like, "Fine, it's cool." He searched the car, and they retrieved the gun from out the back seat. It was 4 people in the car.
Whose gun was it?
I'm not sure, cause the charges, I believe everybody's charges been dropped, so I don't know. Nobody claimed the gun. That's why everybody got charged.
I see.
I was in the front passenger seat, and the gun was found in the back seat with between the 2 other people.
Okay, and that's the same as rule number 5 also. Any of my colleagues have any questions?
Mr. Jack, during this period of supervision, you were sanctioned twice, once for positive drug screens and for not reporting. Is that correct?
I don't know about the reporting, but I did fail for marijuana, like at the beginning, but we had got that situated, and that never happened again. But I'm not sure about the reporting, because I reported the whole time. I made a few payments. Maybe it was the month that I came to jail. I'm not sure.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Were you ever referred for a substance abuse evaluation?
No, ma'am, I'm not sure. Cause they changed my parole officers like I had like 3 different parole officers.
Well, it says on 6/14, he was ordered to complete a substance abuse evaluation and to return the results to me. You were told to go to substance abuse, but evaluation, you didn't do that though?
I guess not. I didn't go to substance abuse. The parole officer that I felt the drug screen for, I was switched to another lady that I didn't even know until I went report, and they never mentioned nothing to me about anything.
Had Nicole and it switched to Jill. Yeah, I see this.
Yeah, I was switched from one lady to Miss Snell, and then they switched me from Miss Snell to Miss Jill Walker. That's the my last parole officer.
I don't have any other questions.
Steve, you have any?
I don't have any questions.
I'm ready to vote. Mr. Jack, you know, these rules and regulations that we have, when they release you, they tell you about them, and you have to comply with it, and you make it difficult for us to, when you come up with excuses. 4 people were charged with a gun, and I have no choice but to revoke you today, simply because of you not following the rules and regulations. So my vote is to revoke 4 and 5 because of 4 and 5.
Conditions 4 and 5. Okay, thank you, sir.
Even though that, you know,
We're
they just
right now, sir.
Okay, the preponderance of evidence and by your admission, you were in a car with a weapon. As a 4th felony offender and someone who has already been charged with possession of a firearm by a felon, you know that you are not to have any access to a firearm.
I didn't have any knowledge that it was in the car.
That's your fault because you have to make sure that there's no firearm. That's your responsibility. My vote is to revoke.
Okay, and I concur for the same reasons. The firearm is not the only thing. The dope is something. The police has stopped you, said there was a strong odor of marijuana. That was the reason for the search. And they were granted permission to search.
Right.
And afraid if I was on parole and been on parole as long as you have, or as many times as you have, or that many felonies, if somebody lit up a joint in front of me and I started smelling marijuana, I'd climb out that window at 60 miles an hour to get away from that car.
Yeah,
And you stayed there. So for that reason, my vote is also to concur. And so as of 10:15 this morning, your parole has been revoked.
damn, is it?
Okay, the time is 10:18 and we're continuing our hearings from Baton Rouge to Calcasieu. And so having said that, we are ready for Mr. Leslie Lewis. Mr. Leslie Lewis, you're next up, sir. Deputy, thank you for having everything organized for us. We appreciate that very much.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, your case is being handled by Miss Jerry Ledoux. Ms. Ledoux?
Mr. Lewis, would you please state your name and your DOC number for the record?
Leslie Lewis, 478-630.
Mr. Lewis, the paperwork that you were presented with is a revocation questionnaire. Do you recognize your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the answers to those questions indicate you're not eligible for appointed counsel, so we will continue. Mr. Lewis, you were paroled in June of 25, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
It's alleged that you have violated the conditions of your parole. There are two parts to this of rule number 4. The first one is it's alleged on 7/18/2025 that you engaged in new criminal activity, which led to your arrest on 10/21/25 by the police department in Lake Charles, an active warrant for vehicular homicide. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Have you been to court on that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. It also states that when you submitted a blood alcohol test, you tested positive for amphetamines, methamphetamines, and another drug, and you admitted to being using drugs. How do you plead?
Yes, ma'am. I plead guilty to that. I have a drug problem.
Okay. Mr. Lewis, when did the accident happen that you're accused of?
I mean, I wasn't under the influence at the time. I stayed there for the accident. I stayed there for the accident and everything. And I mean, I got the guy help. It was a complete accident.
I understand that. What date was that?
I don't remember, but it was like they arrested me. They came back with a warrant like 3 months later. They
Okay.
said I had drugs in my system.
Did it happen 7/18/25?
Was that the day I got arrested?
No, that's the day that the accident happened.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you communicate with your parole officer that
Yes.
happened?
No, I communicated with him after they because I just got a ticket. I just got a ticket at the time, and I thought that was it.
You didn't tell him though that you had been in an accident?
No, because it wasn't. I mean, I wasn't arrested for that at the time. I went to the hospital, and I complied with the law and everything, and I went to the hospital, and they done blood work, and they came back that I had drugs in my system. I got it.
Surprised you that there would be drugs in your system.
I guess I indulged in, but it wasn't at the time after the accident.
Okay.
I ain't too long ago I got released from Riverbend, and
Right. You're a 4th class offender, is that correct?
I do not know.
Okay, so you've had several failed probation parole periods.
I thought I passed parole. I thought I completed parole successfully.
You have a full term date of 6/8/27.
Not this time. That last time I completed parole successfully.
But once before you did not. Okay, I don't have any questions.
You said when you went to the hospital and
Yes,
they
sir.
for your blood work, did you go after the accident?
I went the day of the accident. I got the guy. It scared me so much but I got the guy help. I called the cops. The cops took me to the hospital.
And so that's when they found drugs in your
That's what
system?
they came back 3 months later. They came back 3 months later and said they found drugs in my system, which I don't, I just complied with them. I didn't want to.
Okay, thank you.
It was I was already dealing with enough that a guy died at the scene that I didn't know.
Thank you.
But I didn't go to court for it yet.
Okay, I have no more questions.
I have no questions. Commissioner Dewey, you ready to vote?
Yeah, Mr. Lewis, I appreciate, I can tell you're struggling with the fact that
Yes,
you
ma'am.
caused the accident that resulted in the death of a man. I can clearly see that bothers you.
Very much so.
And I wish that my decision could only be based on feelings, but right now that's not what we are charged with doing. You understand that? You violated the conditions of your by doing drugs. Yeah.
I understand.
And so my vote is to revoke you. I do hope that you are able to deal with that. And I'm to note in my revocation that I strongly suggest that you get some substance abuse assistance while incarcerated. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
My vote is to deny also for rules 4 and 4. I concur with Ms. Ledoux.
And I likewise concur with Mr. Ledoux. The time is 10:25, and as of now, your parole has been revoked. Sorry, sir.
All right. You didn't double quick, double lock. It's like keep on getting tighter and tighter.
When we done, we gonna wait here, we gonna wait in the front. When we done, we gonna wait right here, we gonna go in the front. I'm in the hall. Just I'm gonna go right for you. He was looking at me like I'm just a cold-blooded criminal, so stone cold.
Some kind of simple, bro.
Yeah, maybe it's my hair. I don't know. That shit crazy.
Oh, I said, man. A whole accident. I was intoxicated. I stayed there way cocking my hill and everything. 3 months later, they come back. Come on, man. For real though. Now I could have run. I ain't mowed a man down and you know what I'm saying. I ain't do it. I ain't doing no purpose. I'd see if I would step on something intentionally. Yeah. That was an accident, bro. Fucking accident. Just cause I'm already on the other side of the law, they want to fuck over. That's what they stupid ass shit. I'm already on the other side of the law, so they feel like it's right to give me a
All right, good morning again from Baton Rouge. We're conducting parole revocation hearings this morning, and we're at Calcasieu, or you're at Calcasieu still, the folks I'm talking to. And we have two other cases there. The next one we'll be hearing is Mr. Matthew Allen. Mr. Allen?
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Allen. How are you? What is your DOC number?
768135.
Okay, and what is your full name?
Matthew Allen.
Okay, and do you have a waiver in front of you that you signed that says that you're willing to have this hearing and all that business?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'll be conducting this hearing, and you were paroled on July of 2024, and since then you've got a little problem, according to what's been submitted to us, with two conditions of your parole that you are reportedly violated. We'll take care of the first one. The first one is easy. It's number 10. In the fact that you'll keep up with your money as far as what you owe probation or parole in the state of Louisiana to maintain your parole, and you owe $819. How do you plead on that?
Guilty.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes that pretty easy. And the next one is condition number 4. That says you'll stay away from drugs and you'll stay away from criminal activity and guns and that sort of thing. And so that's what we want to talk about this morning. There's 3 incidents I noticed of problems that you had. One is deputies responded to what a panic attack call. And this was in March 29th of 2025. When they got there, you handed them a container of meth, a little small container of meth that you had in your pocket. Is that correct?
I don't remember. That was 7 months prior to my arrest.
Okay. All right. They wrote you a summons at that time, correct?
I didn't receive a summons. They put me in the back of the ambulance and they sent me to a detox, and I completed it. And I also went to the doctor's appointments after that, and I got on my medicine. I was doing really good. I signed up for school post-university, and since I've been in here, I couldn't attend the school.
Okay. Well, let's move on to another incident that happened in July of 2025, where you were looking into your neighbor's patio windows, and some question is, they thought you had a machete. A machete was recovered, but I don't know if there was a machete or not, but they were charged with trespassing. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I think so. I was on his property.
Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Okay, and then the third one is pretty easy. It happened in September of 2025, where 4 license plates were stolen from company cars that were parked, and they got you on video stealing the car, the license plates. Is that how do you plead?
Not guilty on that one because I was actually trespassing at the dollar store. I was looking in the trash can.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And so you didn't steal the license plates?
No, sir.
Because you had somebody said that, that's how you got tied up on it. It's one of your friends said he got his license plate from you, and you were right there in the dumpster at the Family Dollar or whatever, where the license plates were stolen, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's kind of a strange situation. I'll make do with what I think I know about that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. That's all the questions that I have. Ms. Ledoux, do you have any questions?
I do. Mr. Allen, have you ever been evaluated for mental health issues?
Yes, ma'am.
And have you been on medication in the past?
Yes, ma'am.
But you were not on medication at the time you were out?
Correct.
Okay. Tell me about your housing situation. Where were you living?
I was living with my parents, my mom and my dad, and my brother just passed away from COVID when COVID was around.
Okay. Have you ever had, so you have a substance abuse problem?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is your drug of choice?
Methamphetamine.
How do you supply your habit?
I just get it from friends, really, but
You don't steal and
no, ma'am.
support your habit?
Yeah, I was on probation for simple burglary, and it was I jumped into a trash can actually and I was in jail for a long time before I pled out to that, and I wish I never would have actually,
And why is that?
because I wasn't burglarizing nothing. I was simply in a trash can in a 40-foot dumpster, and I like to say that I'm really not a criminal. I just do stupid things.
And why do you think you do that?
I have no clue. It just looks real bad.
Yeah. You think your mental health status plays a part in that?
Yes, ma'am. That's why I had went and got help. I was calling for help that day, and they sent me to a detox, and they got me with a medical provider, and I was doing actually pretty good before I wandered off into the next door neighbors.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Stevens?
No, well, I guess he's answered what I want to hear.
Mr. Allen, this is a sad case because you're doing things because of your mental health status, which may or may not be brought on by the methamphetamine. It could be a lot of things, and I'm certainly not an expert in that, but I'm sorry that all this is happening to you.
Yes,
So you seem like a nice, likable fella. You just got something that's got control of your life, and I wish we had the means on this board to straighten out all of society's ills, but we just don't. Have you ever had any long-term substance abuse treatment?
No, sir.
You've never had any? Well, you're
Well,
gonna be,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you go ahead and tell me.
I've went to rehab before. I've been to the Hope Center. The Hope Center is a great place. I really like that place, really.
How long was that treatment?
It was 1 month, but I would like to stay there and go get a job there. That's what I really need, some kind of structure.
Yes, sir. Well, we can't order you to go to a facility like that, but we can do this. We can, in lieu of revocation, we can order you to, or I think you have to agree to this. But if you would agree to this, in lieu of revocation, we can get you into a DOC, long-term substance abuse program. In other words, we're not really letting you out, but we're also not revoking your parole. Would you be agreeable to that? That's all that's at our disposal, really.
And how long is that? I'm just wondering.
It's up to DOC. You want it or you don't want it. That's up to DOC.
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's got to be voluntary. It's got to be on. You got to volunteer for it, but I'll leave it at that. Do you volunteer for that? You want to go with that in lieu of revocation? Go to a long-term. When I say long-term, I'm not talking about years, but we're talking about months. So
It can't be longer than 9 months. So
Sure. Yes, sir.
okay, good. That's what my vote is. In lieu of revocation, we're going to send you to DOC Substance Abuse Program.
Okay, and can I ask what program that is?
No, you can't ask anything at this point. We're voting. So my vote is also to, in lieu of revocation, to send you to a DOC substance abuse facility, but also to have a mental health evaluation.
Okay.
I concur with Mr. Prater.
Okay, so that's our determination, is that in lieu of revocation, have a long-term substance abuse program by DOC and a mental health evaluation. So that'll be the end of this hearing, 10:39.
So you finna go do 90 days, probably expensive. So I might have mental health problems. Can't comprehend. You told you had a drug problem. Your motherfucking ass. Your language, that way. They give me everything they supposed to give my street cred. Shit, that's the case. If they was to fucking calculate my time today, I'll be gone today. Yeah. Yesterday. Yeah, my shit 27 in July too. My shit 2027 July 6th. This is 27 July 6th. Mine 27 June. So I'm about to throw anyway. You know, I did 10 months, I'm doing like 10 months. If they give all my, man, I seen them. I was telling dude, but them niggas, they violated 2 people in my dorm. They took, the year that they was on the street, they added on to their parole. So they full term, they changed. Yeah. On the street, no year though. I was out there 13 months. They take that from me. But I don't think they're gonna take it though. I think they're gonna give it to me. What you mean take it from me? Take that time that you did on the street, like how they do probation. So they took their time, they year, they 13 months they did on the street, and changed their full term date a whole year. You can't change the full term date. I don't know what they got going, but they had another white dude, they violated his parole, his shit ain't changed. He got all his street cred. So I don't know, but they had like domestic shit. They was on parole for domestic and got violated.
Okay, good morning. The time is 10:47 in the morning. It's still the 8th day of January of 2026. We're still in Baton Rouge and with the continuation, so we don't have to have any introductions. And the next case and our final case to hear this morning, when we get through with this, we'll be concluding our day, is Donald Guidry. Mr. Guidry, your case has been assigned to me, and so I'll be handling it. And Mr. Guidry, tell me what your full name is and your DOC number. Okay, you're on mute, Deputy. Okay. Try it again. DOC number
394021.
and your full name.
Donald Lewis Guidry Jr.
Okay, and the deputy supplied you with a form in front of you. Did you sign that waiver form, and is all of that information accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, thank you for that. We're here to talk about some conditions of your parole that you're suspected of violating, and we're here to determine if in fact you did violate those, or if there's enough suspicion or enough cause to believe that you did. And so let's start with the easy one. Number 10 says that you when you got out of jail, you agreed to pay the state of Louisiana Department of Corrections a certain amount of money to monitor your activities, and you owe $5,567. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So, okay. All right. So you're pleading guilty to that. All right. And the second condition, that's condition number 10. And the other condition is condition number 4, which says you're going to stay away from criminals and criminal activity and firearms and drugs. You're going to stay away from all that stuff. And you signed and agreed to that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, you've been arrested for a couple of things. One is a second-degree murder, and that's still pending in court, as is the other case of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. But rather than go over the details about the murder, because I don't really want to talk about it too much, let's talk about the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. I believe on March the 6th of 2024, you supposed to have shot yourself in the leg. Is that correct?
No, sir.
Okay. What happened? How'd you get a bullet in your leg?
This happened at with a female that called 911. She was the one that shot me.
Who shot you?
The female that called 911.
Okay, is that your girl? Was your girlfriend?
No, it was just a female that I was interacting with. We got in an argument. She shot me in the leg. She called the cops and told them that I shot myself.
Okay.
All the evidence gonna show later on that she was convicted right after that of she known for possessing guns. She doing time for having guns right now.
Okay, so she had the gun. But her statement was that you shot yourself while you putting your pants on.
Exactly. She just trying to shift the blame from herself.
But she was a convicted felon also, right?
I didn't know that at the time. I found out a lot about her later.
Okay, all right. And then the other case we'll talk about for a little bit is your baby. Your little child.
I would rather not discuss that because I haven't been to court yet, and plus they have other inmates around. I really wouldn't rather discuss that until I get completed with that, if you don't mind.
Okay.
But
yeah.
This happened 3 years ago, and I wasn't charged with it. His mother was charged with it, and some kind of way they just can't pick me up 2 years later. I really have no knowledge of nothing that happened. I wasn't involved in no type of activity, no type of criminal activity. I really was in the blind with most of it.
You were just living there, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Was there drugs in the house?
They had no drugs in the house. Some kind of way they say they found something in her purse later.
Okay.
Mr. Guidry, during this period of supervision, you have been arrested at least twice. Once for Schedule II drugs and resisting and obstructing. That was in 2021, domestic abuse battery. 23, you're reprimanded for not reporting. Again, in 23, that was December, reprimanded, not reporting. May of 24, positive for drugs. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. I have never been reprimanded for not reporting. I have always reported. That's one problem I never had. They never had to look for me. I always reported every month. And I was always where they could find me. I never had a problem with that. I don't know where that comes from.
Well, I know where it came from. 6:15 at an office visit, analog manual. Non-specialized offender violation, failure to report as instructed. Thursday he came in, he stated he lives at 3rd Street. He spends a lot of time with his mom. He has not been reporting monthly. I reprimanded him and told him to report every month. I'm just telling you what your agent put, okay? So, I just, the reason I bring this up is this is a pattern that you've had some problems during the supervision period that have not risen to the level of the parole board being involved. But they're indisputable in my mind. I've got the evidence for it. So thank you, Mr. Prater. That's all.
You're welcome. And just so you know, we have all the reports of the baby dying from the overdose. And we have all of that and interview witnesses and everything that they have said. So there's a lot of folks that, although we're not going to talk about, a lot of folks lying on you then if what you say is true. But anyway, that having said, Mr. Tillis, you got any questions?
I have no questions.
Okay, Mr. Guidry, I vote first, and because of violations of Rule 4, which is staying away from criminals, and one thing for sure is the girl that shot you, she is a criminal because she's in jail for felon possession of a firearm. She says you had the gun, so you might very well have had the gun, but you end up getting shot. And that's criminal behavior, whoever had the gun, you or her. So you're hanging around a criminal. There's a gun present. You're in a house where drugs are involved in some sort of way. You got people saying that you actually had drugs and provided drugs to people, and all of the sanctions that you've had against you since being on this term. I don't think that you abiding by the rules like you agreed to. Therefore, because of violations of conditions 10 and 4, your parole is hereby revoked, according to my vote.
My vote is also to revoke based on non-compliance with conditions of parole.
I concur with my colleagues on violations 10 and 4.
Okay, as of 10:55, your parole is revoked, and that will conclude our hearings for today. Thank you.